forced teams to leave their offers over voicemail instead.
That's just pathetic. Houston's pathetic.
It's so crazy to me. I don't know. I just think it's insane. It is insane that in 2021, with the access to information, with the access to experiences, with the knowledge of how these things always end up, that you would do business this way.
By the way, the Texans are validating all of Deshaun Watson's concerns.
Yes.
They will not take live calls. It's like, you know what it makes me think? I don't like players to hold out, but it's like, it's nonsense. These are juvenile people running the organization.
It's not. It's insane.
It's a cult.
It's great. There's no other word to describe it. It is absolute. It's completely and utterly dysfunctional. This is not how you do business.
Can you imagine that?
No. What business does operate this way? Like, I can't imagine any team in any league, any organization, any business whatsoever. Like, even if you were in our business, like, we don't make trades, but like, if some other network was like, we want to move Colin's show to our network, and we're willing to pay you $100 million. We will give your network $100 million to do it. And the network's like, yeah, we're gonna leave that one on voicemail. It's not. We don't do trades. How?
Even if you got divorced, how petty would you be in juvenile if you wouldn't take a live call from the person if you had questions about your kids or something?
Well, I think that happens quite a bit, but
that just shows you how juvenile people are.
I mean, it's just I don't know. It's insane to me, but you're right. They're absolutely validating the reason why Deshaun Watson wants out and the reason why he has the full support of everyone in the business, because this is madness. Tariq Cohen, you like his tweets, by the way. You would pay for Tariq Cohen's tweets, I think.
Tariq Cohen's funny.
He also tweeted at Deshaun Watson, pull up, gang. I don't think nobody got number 4. So he's recruiting Deshaun as well. The Texans also released running back Duke Johnson. So I don't know what the Texans are doing.
What was the other Tariq Cohen tweet I liked?
He tweeted to Russell Wilson.
You called, bro?
And said, you called, bro. Yeah. But he's ready. He's ready.
That's funny.
So the Colts are bringing in Carson Wentz to be their starter next season because the trade isn't official until the start of the new league year. Frank Reich can't talk about his new quarterback just yet, but he did emphasize how important it is to have the right quarterback in for his team's success.
We do believe we have the right roster, we have the right culture, and getting good quarterback play is something that is necessary to win a world championship. And obviously here in this organization, the standard has been set. We need to continue to have that kind of play and even continue to improve upon that kind of play for us to win a world championship.
I am so excited to see what the Colts do this year.
Well, they were 11-4.
They were 11-5 last season.
I mean, that's pretty amazing with Phillip Rivers. With no preseason, Phillip had to come in, learn the playbook.
I think it's incredible. I thought Phillip Rivers should have retired.
So did I.
He came in and had a really nice year with them.
So, yeah.
He had 68% completion percentage, 4,169 yards, 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And he had 309 yards and 2 touchdowns in the playoff loss to the Bills, which I thought was a really good game.
Oh, I thought they moved the ball up and down the field on the Bills.
I'm really interested to see how Carson Wentz does in this new environment.
It's just, it's great. Stafford, Rams, Wentz, Indy. They're 2 good teams, and then you get juice. So they're brand new stories. I mean, nothing against Goff, McVay, but I'd seen it.
Right.
Now I get a whole new storyline.
I do think, personally for me, I want to see what Wentz does, because now there are no more excuses. The Colts are a very functional organization.
Great O-line.
Great O-line, weapons, defense.
If he
the
stinks,
coach that you wanted, the coach that you had success with before. It's definitely a situation that I'm going to pay attention to, because he's the way he left Philadelphia, and I do think a lot of it was on the front office in Philadelphia. You got to perform now. You have everything that you need.
No more excuses.
Nobody could ask for anything more than what you got with the Colts.
It's like Kyrie Irving. Okay, you can blame Brad Stevens, and LeBron can be, the limitation. If you can't work with Durant and Harden, Kyrie, you got to make that work, because that is a perfect. So it's like everybody, and I've been critical of Kyrie, but if you can't work with Harden then if Wentz can't work with this O-line and in this running back and this culture, then he's just done. He's out. He's a bad player.
And I think that he will. I think they will have success there, but I just want to see it. So Alex Smith made an incredible comeback with Washington last season, but his future with the team is uncertain. They've already signed Taylor Heinicke to a 2-year deal.
Oh, come on.
And he is hoping that they don't lose Smith as a mentor going forward. Hopefully we can bring him back. I know a lot of the guys love him, and he's good for the locker room and can still play.
I was told they offered Alex Smith the GM job 2 years ago or a year ago. Dan Snyder did. I'm not joking.
I was obviously very nervous to see what he was going to do, and I know that you were very nervous. But I think it's great that he came back and was able to have the success he did after all of those.
Is it legal to do
surgeries?
This? Is it legal? I'm going to ask a question. What are you laughing at?
You always ask me if stuff is legal. What?
Okay. Didn't you go to law school?
No, I did not go to law school. I'm just really great at debating.
Okay. Is it legal to have Alex Smith be a coach, but he could play? Like, could you put him on somewhere in the roster?
Be like a coach.
So he's
player?
a coach. And if somebody got hurt, you just grab a helmet.
Player coach.
In NBA, I grew up with player coaches. Is there a way to just not skirt the rules, but like he's a coach?
Like so that they don't lose a roster spot?
So he could be on the scout team, but also a coach. So he's on the sideline coaching, but he's basically, so he doesn't count against the day roster, the game day roster.
He doesn't take up a roster spot, but he can go.
I don't know. I didn't formulate this in my head very good.
I don't think it's legal.
Could somebody, one of you general managers who watches this show, I'll do it anonymously. What's the closest you could get that you could pay him as a coach, but he could also be on like a low salary on the scout team, meaning you could bring him, if somebody got hurt, you could bring him in very quickly.
I mean, Alex Smith had a nice season last year. I think you could probably just have him on the roster.
Well, Washington needs extra, because if you draft a quarterback and you have Taylor Heinicke, you can't carry a third. So what's the rule on that? So legal people and professional
NFL legal people, let us know.
What is the rule on that? Because that's what I'd love. I'd love him to be a coach, but I'm paying him for a scout team or something. So let somebody gets hurt. Come on, next week. You
don't think he could make another roster?
I just think Alex is going to be a fine broadcaster and a great executive. He should stay in Washington and mentor the next great quarterback there. That's how I view it.
I think he probably still wants to play.
All right. Yeah, I think you're right there. Lawyer Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
So here's a story. Brady is going to give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers another gift. According to a story I'm reading this morning, Brady, who, by the way, in the year he was the MVP in 2017, made $1 million a year in salary. So he's always tweaked his salary. He is willing to sign an under-the-market deal again, redo his deal, and do it again under the market. And it's interesting. In the last 18 years in the NFL, think about this. If you make more than Tom Brady in the last 18 years, you cannot win a Super Bowl unless your last name is Manning. Last 18 years. Eli twice, Peyton once. If you make more than Tom Brady does, you can't win a Super Bowl unless your last name is Manning. So one of the advantages to being rich is that you can make decisions based on stuff beyond money, quality of life, teammates I want to play with. But it's interesting because Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson are in the stage where they want to make every dollar they can. And it's interesting. 2 years ago, I could be wrong on this, 2 years ago, Green Bay wanted Robbie Anderson. The Jets had Robbie Anderson, and Carolina got him, and Green Bay couldn't. Can you imagine Devontae Adams and Robbie Anderson? They couldn't get him because they couldn't afford him. And Green Bay would have J.J. Watt today, if Aaron took a pay cut. And you think to yourself, well, why should he take a pay cut? Well, because he probably paid $700,000 for his house. I mean, again, I always say this. If you play in Miami or Seattle, you're paying no state tax. So you do have to consider the advantage. Could you give up a little bit of salary to get a star receiver or a star left tackle if you're a player? But, everybody talks about commitment. Everybody says I'm all in. Brady's really the only athlete that is all in. Like everything. $2 million on his body, won't drink a beer during the season, and I'm going to give up massive money to win. And I've said this with LeBron. LeBron does the commitment to his body commitment to excellence during the season. He drinks a little wine during the season, whatever. But it is interesting. LeBron makes $65 million a year in shoes and apparel. He's worth $900 to $950 million. He has AD and Dennis Schroeder. He could have another all-star if he just said, what do I care? It doesn't matter to me. And again, I'm not here to tell people to take money or not, but it shows the commitment. Everybody says I'm all in. But Russell Wilson is still in the stages, I'm going to make as much as I can.